Classic Hits Radio, it's Trina Mara. I'm delighted to have Emrhys Cooper on the line from America. Hi.
Howdy.
You were just saying to me there, you're very familiar with me, and it kind of scared me a little bit. This is because you have connections.
You a little bit.
You stalk me a bit, yeah.
I actually am in Manchester right now, but I've got an American phone number to confuse you. But I lived in America for 15 years. Sorry about that.
So tell me about the Irish connection then, and how you're familiar with this radio station.
I know who you are. I've heard all about you.
Such a good liar.
Good things. I'm married to an Irish man, so I obviously like the Irish.
I did not know that.
Donald Brophy from Malahide. Love at first sight kind of thing. And I visited Malahide and Dublin a lot. I've toured actually Ireland twice with the musical Fame, and I loved the Irish audiences. And yeah, I did a little stalking. My publicist gave me your name and I did some research, so I'm happy to be chatting.
Lovely, lovely. Speaking of stalking, I did a little bit of stalking myself. Well, research I would call it. And I had a quick look at you on YouTube there. And some of the red carpets that you've done in America, my God, the Americans are very forward, aren't they? There was one there and there was a woman and she was practically asking you to sleep with her. And it was like, she's barking up the wrong tree for starters.
Yeah, they are. They're a lot more straight to the point in America. Sarcasm and wit is sometimes lost on them.
This one, she was wanting to know exactly where you lived, what time you did your gym sessions at. It was very over the top. Now, you went along with it, but I think...
Oh my God, maybe I could do Baby Reindeer too, stalked by a journalist.
Do you know what must happen? Some of them are very odd on the red carpets, though. They really are. So, Emrhys, can you tell everyone about your start? You mentioned Fame there, but you've done kind of everything, haven't you?
Yeah, look, I've been a jobbing, hustling actor. I just said yes. I didn't have the luxury of saying no. So I've done a bit of... My wall of shame is bigger than my wall of fame, but I'm hopefully it's going to balance out. Coronation Street I'm very proud of, and some of the upcoming movies I'm very proud of. But I've done a few stinkers.
Have you? What would you say?
Yeah.
Many actors have done a few stinkers. You got to pay the bills. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. I didn't know they were going to be a stinker when I did them.
No.
Sometimes I had high hopes. But, some of it's luck. You could have great actors, a great director, and it's like the magic isn't there. So
what would you say was not great, or are you afraid to say?
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with the Dear Deirdre in the back of the Sun. I used to be a Dear Deirdre model, and then there was the Dear Deirdre video. So it was basically softcore porn. It was like porn adjacent, let's say. So that's my wall of shame.
Were you? So you were one of the ones that was caught in the bed, or the plumber or something that was coming in.
I had to reenact being sleeping with the girl's mother, or having a threesome with the father. Been there, done that.
Oh, Emrhys. So you really weren't picky at all at the start of your career. And how much did that pay?
Well, I had bills to pay at an expense. I mean, I was living an A-list lifestyle on a D-list budget.
Yeah,
so there we go.
So you were turning up to all the fancy nightclubs, drinking champagne, and how much were you getting paid for that? Do you remember?
It was about £250 a pop.
What was it?
And when I've been going to those fancy red carpets, I've been driving home in a Rent-A-Wreck, so it's not all glitz and glamour. But you know what? I have to enjoy the journey, the good and the bad, and you have to have fun and joy and not take it too seriously. I take what I do seriously, but this roller coaster of life, you just have to run with it, and try and enjoy it the best you can.
Funny you say that about the fake life, because Keith Duffy was in studio from Boyzone recently, and he was saying how at the height of Boyzone, they would pull up to the hotel in a limo or something, and then they'd go around the back of the hotel and jump into a high-ace van to head to their gig wherever it was. An old banger of a van just to get there, because it was all about perception and But you did a load of music videos as well. Tell me about those.
Yeah, so I started out the beginning of my career. I was a backup dancer. I did musicals in London, like We Will Rock You and Fame and Mamma Mia, and I also got to dance with people like Madonna and the Pussycat Dolls. But the video a lot of people remember me from is the Sugar Babes song "Push the Button," where I played the geeky guy in the elevator with Heidi, and then she kind of makes me a bad boy.
And was it easier for you now, because you do it all, you do the dancing and you do the acting and everything, makes it a bit handier?
Well, I grew up doing, I hate calling myself a triple threat because that sounds really arrogant, but I grew up doing all three. And I really wanted to break into acting, but it took me a long time. So I always had a burning desire, but I had to go to LA, eat humble pie for 5 years, do 1,000,001 jobs, kind of like Dear Deirdre. I was a butler in the bath in my low moments. And then I started to work in television in the States. I had to kind of make it in the States to get Coronation Street here. I kind of reverse engineered it in a weird way. In the UK, no one wanted to take me seriously as an actor, so I kind of had to go to LA at 23 to prove myself. And then I came back to do Coronation Street this year, and I've been on screen all year, so it's been really fun.
When you were going for jobs then in America, you know the way if you're going for an ordinary job and they'll ask you at the interview, you know, what's your salary expectation? How do you have a clue what to say? You're just like, I want the job. Anything will do when you're in America getting an acting job at the start.
I was just like Tom Cruise, and I was just like, show me the money. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Well, with the agent, you let the agent be the bad guy. So, like, in the States, there's a lot more money on the table than there is in the UK. So it's a big deal. You know, if you're working in American market, there's a lot more money at stake. But I was always just a good boy. I'll just take what they gave me. I haven't become a diva yet, and I can't really be that demanding. But maybe one day.
Yeah, you'd be like, Tom Cruise won't get out of bed for less than 50 million.
And I'm just like 50 quid.
50 quid, whatever. Packet of peanuts. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'll do
and
it.
breakfast.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Yeah.
And there was a story, wasn't there, when you first went over? I know we're going back now, but like, you seem to be somebody who is into taking risks, because you had an incident when you arrived at the airport.
Well, when I first went to America, so I got to the airport, I was 23, really hungover. It was my birthday the night before, and I got to the airport and realized I didn't have my wallet. So I flew to America without a wallet, and I got to America for the first time. My phone didn't work, and I didn't have any money. So that was the beginning of my American adventure, and that was kind of like the first few years were very tough. Very, very tough.
So hang on a second. How did you pay for your taxi to get to the airport in the first place? Am I finding you out?
So my sister dropped me at the airport. I got to check in.
Listen to me. Tell me about the latest movie.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I played Thomas Hutter in Nosferatu, which is an adaptation of the classic Dracula tale. It's the vampire story. I play the over-the-top, charismatic hero. He's actually kind of very insecure and masking his naivete, but he wants fame and fortune, kind of like me 10 years ago. And he goes off on this quest and mission to bring back money, but he meets this gentleman who might bite him, and then it all unravels. But yeah, it's a really great reimagining of the classic tale. It's a remake of Nosferatu, and I'm very proud of it. It's a very special movie. The
original is silent. Please tell me this is not a silent movie.
No, this is not. We're speaking. What's interesting about the film is we actually take the original sets, the original scenery, and they've taken out the old actors and put us in. So it's literally a scene-by-scene remake. Yes, we're speaking. No singing, no dancing, just dialogue.
I mean, the costume department's amazing, the way they recreate something like that. How did they source the stuff?
They nailed the costumes. They got it really right, because sometimes with period they can get it wrong, and they really, Paula Helene, she's no longer with us, unfortunately, but she, sadly, she did a really great job with the costume design. Well, we look forward to seeing it. Emrhys Cooper, thank you very much for coming on, and thanks for stalking me. Oh, I had so much fun. Thanks so much for having me, and have a brilliant day. Thanks, guys. Bye. It's Ireland's Classic Hits Radio.